Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cryptic Coil, and in today's video, um, I just want to kind of show off my favorite guitar. So I love this guitar, okay? That was not embarrassing at all. So maybe it would help if I did. All right, so this is a Jackson Dinky. I think it's a DK2. I'm not sure. I don't know if so it's a double humbucker configuration, so it's HH. If it's I think that DK2s are typically HSS, but I could be mistaken. So this is probably a Jackson DK2. So I bought this guitar like, I don't know, 2 years ago, something like that, year and a half ago. And I got it on eBay, and it came from overseas. I don't quite remember, but I love this paint job. I mean, look at that. I mean, isn't she gorgeous? Okay. This is Queen Victoria, by the way. Oh, it came from London. So out of all the women in my life that I've ever like loved and, you know, lost or whatever, there was one in particular. Her name is Victoria. And so I named the guitar after her because I love this guitar more than the rest of my guitars. Not by much, but just because, one, it's a Dinky, it's HH, and it's got the Eerie Dess Swirl paint job. That's what Jackson calls this, the Eerie Dess Swirl paint job. And so when I first started playing guitar when I was a teenager, and I'm still not very good, like I'm not good enough to go pro or nothing like that, but you know, it's a hobby, and I am passionate. Like you wouldn't catch me dead playing guitar like on YouTube because I'm not very good, and I just don't want like to be made fun of. But you know, so I had this like, you know, cheap Strat knockoff guitar. That was what my parents got me when I was in high school, and I'm grateful for that, you know. I am. But then, you know, high school ends, I join the workforce, I get a real job, you know, at a Fortune 500 company, and now I'm making, you know, big boy money. And so with my first paycheck, I went out to get me a real guitar, you know. And I had done some research, and I decided that I was going to be a Jackson guy, that all my favorite artists play Jacksons. Alexi Laiho, Dave Mustaine was playing Jacksons at the time. Metallica had some. So there were a whole bunch of like Jackson players that I was like, you know, crazy about. So I decided to go with Jackson, and I had a choice. I could get a guitar like this, except it was HSS as opposed to double humbucker. And it actually had a rosewood fretboard. And then they had a Jackson DXMG. And, you know, the Jackson DXMGs, I mean, they're basically dinkies, but they had a reverse headstock and rosewood fretboard. And that one was just black. And I wasn't, like, man enough to be secure buying a guitar with this paint job. I thought that it looked too feminine, and I was afraid I'd get made fun of, so I decided to go with the Jackson DXMG because it was black, so I felt like it was safer. And that was a great guitar, and I was an idiot. I was not responsible, like in my early teens and early 20s, and made some bad financial decisions, and I had to sell it. I missed that guitar, but that's okay, because this is pretty much the same guitar. Except the DXMG had a EMG HZ pickups. And so here's my thing with Queen Victoria here. It's so ironic that it came from London. Anyway, so Queen Victoria here has a maple fretboard. Now, I'm not opposed to the maple fretboard. I love me some maple fretboard, but I don't think that maple fretboard looks right on her. I mean, you see what I mean? I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not as sexy as it could be, you know? So, and also this has a right side up this has a right side up headstock. So what I decided to do, and also I have a Jackson Kelly in this color as well, and I swapped out all the hardware on the Jackson Kelly for chrome hardware, and it looks killer. I mean, it just looks killer. The chrome, I feel like the black kind of absorbs some of the paint job, the beauty and the shine of this paint job. I mean, she's gorgeous. Whoever owned her before me did not take very good care of her, because she had some blemishes. And if you look, you can kind of see that I touched it up with nail polish. And I mean, you can still tell, but I mean, I covered up her blemishes, and she's gorgeous. So it's not a big deal. So what I decided to do was, I want a rosewood fretboard on her. I think that a rosewood fretboard would look a lot better. So I bought this Jackson neck. This is a DXMG neck. It was made in the year 2006. And it's got a reverse headstock. And I just installed these here Goto machine heads on her. And these are good tuning pegs. I messed up. I'm an idiot. I intended to get locking tuners, and I know, there's a locking nut right here that's specifically designed to keep the strings in tune. Therefore, I don't need locking tuners. But she's my baby, and I want her to have the best. So, anyway, I started to put these on, and then it realized, they're not locking tuners. I ordered the wrong ones. I just bought them, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I know that these are good locking tuners. They're gonna do their job. And then I'm waiting for the locking nut to come in the mail, because it's got to be silver too. The hardware has to match. And I just love the fact that it's gonna be a reverse headstock, because just imagine how she's gonna look when I'm done with her. Okay. I mean, that is going to be sick. And another thing that I love about this headstock is that, well, let me kind of fix that a little bit. The other thing that I like about this headstock is that, what I've been seeing lately is that when the headstock is reversed on these Jacksons, so are the shark fin inlays, these mother of pearl shark fin inlays. I hate that. I want, like, I'm a really traditional, really conservative metalhead. I'm kind of resistant to change. I used to actually even hate reverse headstocks. And the reason why I hated reverse headstocks was because when I got that first paycheck from my job, at that Fortune 500 company that I worked at, I went to Guitar Center with one paycheck in my bank account, and I was able to afford the Jackson DXMG, and it had a reverse headstock. Therefore, it was affordable. I didn't know how much of a steal that guitar was. I mean, they were made in Japan. They were Japanese Jacksons, the best Jacksons, and they only wanted $500 for it. And like nowadays, I'd be willing to pay $1,500 for that same guitar if it was, in brand new condition and Japanese. And now I have that neck again, and it's got a reverse headstock. And I saw a video from Phil Collen from Def Leppard, and he was showing off his collection of Jackson guitars, and he showed one that he had custom made for himself, and it had a reverse headstock on it. And he goes, yeah, the reverse headstock was such a 80s thing. And then it occurred to me that, yeah, all the 80s metal like shredders, I mean, they all had a guitar with a reverse headstock. Look at Nuno Bettencourt. He always rocked the reverse headstock, and now I get to have one again too. And I get to put it on my Eerie Dess Swirl Dinky with the HH configuration and silver hardware. I even bought me a Schaller Floyd Rose to throw on it. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to replace the block. I might go with a brass block. Yeah, I might as well. I might as well, because if I'm going to rebuild this to be my dream guitar, I better make it dreamy, you know? And having a brass block for the tone, that's going to be cool. And then there's one other, oh, and then I also love my strap. Okay, I bought a Jackson shark fin inlay strap. Everybody loves the strap. Like every time I show a picture or I take my guitar somewhere, like someone always compliments me on this strap. And I get to put it on, you know, this guitar, and I'm just so happy. The other thing, the owner before me put these special volume knobs on. These are not factory knobs. These are aftermarket knobs. And whatever effect it has on the top goes like perfectly with the Eerie Dess Swirl. I wouldn't have thought to do that. Like if this guitar would have come with a, you know, standard black or chrome knobs, I would have just left them. But just by pure chance, I get to have that. Okay, that is so cool. And on my Jackson DXMG neck that I'm going to put on this, you know, I love the fact that it's got, you know, the binding. I remember when I had my DXMG back in 2004, the binding was like nice and pristine and white. This one has yellowed with age, but I'm actually okay with that. Like, I'm not mad at it at all. I do wish it were still like nice and pristine and white. But unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. But at least the binding is there, because necks with binding are better than necks without binding most of the time. And then just the prestige of having, like, you know, an old Japanese Jackson. I mean, you know, street cred, not, you know, not gonna pass up on it. So yeah, she's gonna be looking good here soon with a, you know, chrome Floyd Rose, you know, made by Schaller. So I mean, it's gonna be sick when I'm done with it. And as far as the neck goes, so this is a Japanese guitar, and so is this neck. This was also made in Japan as well. And so since it's a good Japanese neck, I'll probably end up buying like a cheap Jackson Dinky body off of eBay or something, and then just maybe sand it down, repaint it or something. I'm actually gonna reach out to Mark Murray from Guitar Guts pretty soon, and I'm gonna have him rebuild like an old ESP LTD MH100 or M100, whatever. Yeah, I talked to him about it last year, but I got COVID, my car got stolen, all kinds of stuff happened, so I had to put that on hold last year. But this year, I'm gonna make that happen. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to show this off. I mean, she's real pretty. In fact, before I let you go, actually, let me go ahead and show you what my Jackson Kelly looks like. Sorry, it's just right over there. Give me 1 sec. Maybe a little longer than a sec, but like only a few more seconds. All right. All right, here I am. Okay, and I'm back with my Jackson Kelly. Okay, now this guitar right here, so her name is Cassandra, because I was trying to think of what to name her, and then I was watching that movie American Satan by or with Andy Black from Black Veil Brides, and Malcolm McDowell's character, the devil. He kept he had a sexy female minion named Cassandra, and he would always call her, and you know, his tone of voice, it had a certain cadence, and he would always go like, Cassandra, and it was just the way he said it. And so when I was thinking of a name for this guitar, I just went with Cassandra. And so when I got this used on eBay as well. And I was aware of the Eerie Dess Swirl paint job, like I said, because I was deciding between that and my DXMG. I never imagined it in a Kelly, and like it is beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. But for some reason, when I bought it, the tuning pegs were black, and I'm sorry, the tuning pegs were chrome, and the Floyd was black, and I absolutely hated that. The knob was black too. So I just got on eBay and I bought me a Jackson Floyd, and I didn't know that the Jackson stock Floyds are actually kind of terrible. So but whatever. At least it's chrome. At least it looks good. A buddy of mine gave me the knob for free. I think he also gave me the nut for free too. Yeah. So anyway, but I just think that this one looks better with chrome. I feel like the chrome kind of emphasizes the beauty and the brightness of the paint job, and that's what I want for Victoria. So yeah, I just really look forward to getting Victoria put together. Oh yeah, and I also went and bought a Jackson plate. So I don't think I'm gonna do that with Victoria. With Victoria, I'll leave the black neck plate on, because it has the serial number. But yeah, this guitar right here, Cassandra, she's retired anyway. And the reason why she's retired is because I'm kind of a short dude. I'm like 5'7", and so this is by far the heaviest guitar I've ever owned. This thing is really heavy. So if I stand up and I'm, jamming out in my living room or whatever, my legs feel like noodles afterwards. And also, due to the fact that the body length is so much wider, when I stand up and play, I have a harder time accessing the notes all the way down the fretboard. So it's kind of hard for me to play over here. And also it has like neck dive. So but she's so beautiful that I'm protective of her. Like, she's mine, but she's retired. Like, I'm not gonna bring this over to a friend's house and jam out or nothing like that. She's basically wall art. I get a lot of compliments on her. People love her. Someone once told me I'm not super into pointy guitar or pointy metal guitars, but I love that one. And also, this one doesn't have binding on the neck. This is an RR, or not Randy Rhoads 3. It's a KE3. And it doesn't have binding, so, I mean, whatever, she's mine. I don't want some other a-hole to, get her and bang her up and sand her down and repaint her. This thing should be preserved, and it's, as far as the paint job, the condition goes, there's very, very minimal. I think that's the worst right there. See that? The corners. So it's really common for these guitars to have damage around the corners. But with mine, I mean, it's so negligible. I'm going to touch that up with nail polish later. But yeah, these are my Jackson Eerie Dess Swirl guitars, and I just wanted to show them off on YouTube, just for the fun of it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Horns up. Peace out.